YouTube? I'm back again today for another game review, a special expansion review. And today I'm very excited to check out Downforce, the Danger Circuit expansion from Restoration Games. This is for 2 to 6 players. Age is 14 plus. It'll take you about 30 to 45 minutes to play. And the Danger Circuit expansion is a really simple expansion to the great racing game Downforce, which is still in my collection. A game where you're going to be racing cars, but at the same time bidding on which cars are going to win the race. This is going to come with 2 new maps and 6 new power cars that will be giving you special abilities. It's light, it's simple, it's easy to add to the game, but it's good. Let's open it up and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what's going to get inside of the Downforce Danger Circuit expansion. So first and foremost, I do want to mention, I'm not going to be going over the base game and how the game actually plays. I've shot a review of it. Check out the review. I'll post that down below if you're more interested in how the base game works. This is going to be going over what's new in the expansion and kind of detailing that. So first and foremost, you're going to get 6 new power cards. And what I like about these are you can mix them in with the original game as well. They don't have anything that are exclusive to this map or the map on the back of this track right here. And it also allows you to give people 2 cards at the beginning and let them pick which one they want. So kind of a drafting thing, which I think is nice as well. So this one, ambitious. On any player's turn, if your car crosses a betting line, you may move it 2 additional spaces. On your turn, if your card would move 1 or 2 spaces, move it 3 spaces instead. Tough. On any player's turn, if your car ends its movement in a space adjacent to a rumble strip, you may move it 2 additional spaces. If none of your cars move on your turn, move one of your car 3 spaces. On your turn, if your car moves through a tight space, you may move it 2 additional spaces. And on any player's turn, if any car starts its movement in a space directly ahead of your car, you may move your car into the space that car moved out of. So you want to be right behind people with that experience. So I really like the 6 new cards. I'll tell you more about them, the pros and cons. Oh yeah, I also forgot, handy dandy rule sheet right here. Honestly, it just gives you the full rundown of how the cards works and then tells you about the 2 new maps and the 2 specific things. So first we have Crosstown Speedway right here, which has 2 crossover loops right here. That's the big thing right here where it's whoop whoop, and no matter what you do, you have to go through it, but it's a very tightly congested area right there, which you can get blocked with. It also has this little neat area down here, which I like as well. So that one's Crosstown Speedway, and on the other side of the board, you're going to get Switchback Pass, which has some interesting spots right here, which are called dangerous spaces, which can only be used for passing. Think of it like if you're driving as just the dotted line, where like you're in a 2-way road, you have to just pass right there. You can never end your turn on these, which leads to these spaces being pretty congested, especially down here and right here, where if you want to try and pass, you have to have a number big enough to pass, or you're just going to be kind of log jammed there as well. But that's what you're going to get new inside of the Downforce Danger Circuit expansion. Alright then, Downforce, the Danger Circuit expansion. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First on the con side, if you did not like the original Downforce, this is not going to be for you. This is a really simple game to review in that aspect because it adds 2 new maps. And while the maps I do like the loop-de-loop thing, and I do like the danger areas, they don't do anything drastically to change your play experience. Likewise, the new power cards, they're going to give you some cool new special abilities that you'll be able to play with, but they don't change the base game. So if you didn't like Downforce for one reason or the other, or if you're not so hot on Downforce, this is not going to be an expansion for you. It's not going to change your mind, most likely, is what I'm trying to say. Also, it still has the same player count, 2 to 6 players. It doesn't have anything like that. Nothing new or groundbreaking in the expansion. I really don't have any other cons with this. It's, you know, I wish they would have went a little bit crazier with the maps. You know, I wish they would have done like some loops or like some ramps or something more off the beaten path. I guess if you really want me to nitpick, I wish they would have just made a map that was just kind of crazy different. Like these maps are very distinctively feel. They have their own distinctive feel, which is nice. You're going to play, if you play all 3 maps and you play them back to back to back, you'd be like, oh yeah, each map has its own little ebbs and flows. But I would have liked to seen one that's just crazy, like jumping over sharks. And if something doesn't happen, if you don't jump over this with like a certain number between 3 and 6, and you fall into the sharks and you die and you have to go back or something. Just something completely off the beaten path, which I know is not what the game's about, but still, I'm trying to nitpick here, and that's all I got. Moving on to the pros, Downforce, the Danger Circuit expansion. This is a really easy review. Do you like Downforce? Do you still have Downforce in your collection? Get this. It makes the game better. There you go. That's all you need to know. 2 new maps, so more variability, more powers, more variability. Adds to the game, which I already liked. You probably already liked if you're watching this video, and it makes the game better. But there's more, because it all fits in the base box, which, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Restoration Games. I am getting so ticked off about having to have more than one box on my shelf. Even for game companies, hell, Tasty Mr. Games, they sponsored my channel. Give me an Orleans big box. Do it. I want an Orleans big box. I love when expansions fit into the box, the original base box, so that way I don't have to have more boxes on my shelf. So I'm glad that they chose to do that. I hope in the future there's still more. More power cards. I really like the new power cards. If you ask me what my favorite thing in this was, it's not the maps, it's the power cards. Even though I really do like those danger spots. Those danger spots don't seem like a big deal until you don't have enough momentum to pass somebody. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be stuck in this area for a while. Which is a bit of a bummer. And if you get, 3-4 cars in there, it's just bad news. But yeah, that is the Danger Circuit expansion from Downforce. Really enjoyed this one. It makes the game better, and it's a recommendation if you like Downforce. Simple as that. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know. If you could be a race car driver, would you want to be? For me personally, yeah, they make fat cash. I absolutely would. I would race just enough to retire. I'm not sure how much they make a race. I imagine I'd probably have to race like 10 times or something like that. But yeah, I would race just enough to retire because, dear God, that seems like a really terrifying job. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Would you like to be a race car driver? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.